Welcome to DIY Hair School. My name is Jillian. I'm a professional hairstylist and I'm here to teach you how to dye your own hair at home. This video is going to be the first of many videos that will help you achieve your hair color goals all on your own at home. I will be covering everything that you need to know about dyeing, bleaching, covering up those grays, and everything in between. So like and subscribe because you're not going to want to miss any of my videos. And feel free to leave a comment below if there's anything that you want to make sure that I cover in one of my upcoming videos. Today's video specifically is going to be everything that you need to know before you break out those chemicals. The very first thing that you're going to want to do before you start any chemical processing, whether it's color, bleach, or anything else you can think of on your hair, you're going to want to determine how healthy or unhealthy your hair actually is. It's important to know how healthy your hair is before you start so that you can avoid any unnecessary chemical damage that will lead to breakage, dryness, crunchy hay-like hair, frizz, loss of your curl structure, or anything else like that. So your hair is going to be one of two things when you start down this journey of dyeing your hair at home. Either you are going to have virgin hair, which means no dyes or chemicals at all have touched your hair. That even includes the temporary hair dyes that seemingly fade out completely because they often will leave a stain internally on your cuticle. But if you have never put any dye, perms, chemical straightening, or anything on your hair, then it is virgin hair and you can proceed with reasonable confidence that your hair will be able to uphold the chemical process that you want to put it through. Now, if your hair has been dyed, whether recently, 6 months ago, and that dye is just in your ends, you're going to want to really take a close look at the health of your hair and all of that and proceed with caution. If your hair has been permed or chemically straightened, I would advise to not dye over it and to talk to a professional. Next, you're going to want to check if your hair breaks easily. Just, give it a tug. Does it come apart? Don't take all of your hair and pull it, but get 1 or 2 strands, give them a little tug. Do they break off easily? You can also take your hair and brush it over top of a flat surface. And if you see lots and tons and tons and tons of little teeny tiny hairs, that's your ends breaking off. And that is a good indication that you're lacking protein in the ends of your hair and you're either going to want to get a good haircut or get some good protein treatments and do those for a few weeks before you try to put any chemicals over top of the ends of your hair. We want to look at how much moisture your hair currently has. If your hair is shiny and soft and silky and feels great after, it's freshly washed and conditioned and blow dried, then you probably have a reasonable amount of moisture in your hair and your hair is probably pretty healthy. If your hair, no matter what you do, is dull and brittle and just looks dry all the time, then you want to get yourself some really good hydrating masks and you want to spend a few weeks really building up the moisture barrier in your hair before you dry it out with more chemicals. Probably the most important thing that you can look at before you put any dye on your hair, especially bleach, is the elasticity of your hair. If your hair has good elasticity, that means it's good and healthy. There's lots of keratin, protein in your hair. If your hair has really poor elasticity, you're almost guaranteed that you're going to be one of those girls on YouTube whose hair is coming out in clumps after they have processed it. So a way to check the elasticity of your hair is simply take a strand of your hair, just one single strand, and give it a gentle tug. You don't want to pull it so hard that it snaps. You just want to give it a little tug. You want it to feel bouncy and strong. You don't want it to snap. If it snaps super easily with no effort at all, that means your hair is probably pretty brittle. And if it stretches out really far and then just kind of shrivels up and doesn't go back to its original state, that means the elasticity, the protein in your hair, those bonds are weak and they just cannot return back to their natural state. And you do not want to put chemicals over top of that hair because I promise you it will fall off. So once you have determined how healthy or unhealthy your hair is, you can do things to help improve its health if it needs that help. You can do, like I said, protein treatments, you can do some moisturizing treatments, and a great thing you can do before you get your hair dyed is to get your hair cut because nice, fresh, healthy ends are going to withstand the harsh chemicals a lot better than dry, old split ends. It's always a good idea to check out your scalp before you apply any color. You want to see if there's any sores, any scabs, any blisters, redness, just general irritation, because if you apply that color and it starts to oxidize, it is going to sting, burn, itch, and possibly make whatever's going on your scalp worse. So if you have anything going on like that on your scalp, you want to clear it up before you get all of those chemicals out and put them on your scalp. Don't worry if you have a little bit of flaky, dry flakiness, dandruff, that kind of thing. It's not going to affect how the products will perform in your hair, and you want to avoid exfoliating or using any harsh dandruff shampoos on your scalp 48 hours at least before you dye your hair. You want to have those natural oils on your scalp, and those dandruff products will really strip those oils off that will help to protect your skin during the dyeing process. If your hair is healthy, then you're ready to go. If your hair is unhealthy, then you want to proceed with an abundance of caution. Anything you can do to get your hair a little bit healthier before you start, some good deep conditioning masks, a couple protein treatments, get yourself a good haircut, maybe some hair vitamins, anything like that is just going to ensure that you can get the best results that you possibly can when you're dyeing your hair. So now your hair is healthy and you're ready to go. What you're going to do now is determine the level of your natural hair. So what is level? Well, hair dyes come in different levels, not colors, but levels. Levels of darkness to lightness. Level 1 being black and level 10 being platinum blonde, and every level in between. So you want to determine the level of darkness of your natural hair. How you're going to do that is you're going to get yourself some hair swatches. You could get yourself a swatch card like this. Sometimes you can find them on Amazon, at your local beauty supplier. You can just check out the swatches on the shelf that are attached where all the hair dye is, or you can even just Google images of natural level hair swatches and determine which one is closest to your natural level. When you have your natural level, you also want to find out what level any dyed hair is, if you're going to be either covering that up, refreshing it, trying to make it lighter. If you're going to be altering the part of your hair that's already dyed at all, you also want to know what level that is. Now, why do you want to know the level of your hair? Well, that's a great question. You want to know the level of your hair because that's going to help you determine exactly what products that you're going to need to be able to achieve your goal. So I will go into that in more detail in the specific videos on dyeing and bleaching and covering your grays and all of that, but it is important to know that starting point so that you know what you need to get where you want to go. My natural level is a 7. I don't have much roots right now, but yeah, that's my natural level there. So I'm a level 7 and I'm a level 10, a little cooler than this natural level 10, but I am a level 10. So that tells me that I need to be able to go up 3 full levels to get to the color that I want. And so once I know that, I'm going to know that my best bet is going to be to use bleach, because permanent hair dye is only really going to guarantee you 2, maybe 3 levels of lift if you're lucky, but at that 3rd level of lift, it's going to put off a lot of warmth. So since I want a nice, cool, platinum level 10 blonde, I'm going to use bleach to get me from that 7 to that 10. And then you're also, like I said, going to find out the level of your ends if you're going to be covering them up. That's just so that you know if you're trying to go lighter over top of hair dye, you're going to need bleach, because hair color does not lift hair color. Only bleach will lift out hair color. And if you're going to go darker, then you just need to know how many shades that you want to go darker so that you don't end up with your hair looking a lot darker than what you actually want it to be. Once you know the level, that's when you can get more specific on the shade of the color that you want. So if you wanted a level 6, you could do a level 6 red. You could do a level 6 brown. You could do a level 6 copper brown, you could do a level 6 warm brown, you could do a level 6 ash brown. There's lots of colors all at the same level. So once you have determined the level of your natural hair, the level of your dyed hair, and the level of the goal color that you have in mind, you can go ahead and collect all the products that you're going to need to achieve that. You also want to get any tools that you're going to need: bowls, brushes, gloves, processing caps, foil, whatever it is that you're going to need to make this happen for you. Get it before you start. You don't want to be scrambling around when your hair is half got dye on it and you're mixing up color and you don't know where your gloves are. You want to make sure that you've got everything there and ready to go. Being prepared will ensure that you have success. If you're feeling confused about, oh my God, how am I going to know what type of hair dye I'm going to need to achieve that color that I want, and what tools am I going to need to make that happen, don't worry, my next 2 videos are going to cover those things in a lot of detail. So don't forget to subscribe so that you're notified about those videos coming up. And If you're feeling confused about anything else that I said in this video today, please leave a comment below. I will reply and clarify anything that I can for you. Thank you guys so much for being here for my very first video. Your support is greatly appreciated. I am so excited to go into my next videos in more detail. So see you next time at DIY Hair School.